obviously I was pretty enamored with the sale yesterday, so I got to watch the races the same as you, but I wanted to talk to Mark and talk to Stacy and just get a feeling of what went on yesterday at the track. I was so concerned with insider trading and the proximity to showing a little bit of blood. I was really worried about her race yesterday, and Mark drove her so perfect, and she raced so good. You guys have no idea how tough she would have had to be to race the way she did yesterday. It wasn't about the speed, it was about the durability, the toughness, and how quick she finished on the end of the mile. And Tim had scoped her after, and zero blood. So not only did she have no blood, but she was coming in short where she did show a little bit of blood. Being on Lasix for the first time, for those of you who train horses, you know that's a very tough thing to do, and it takes a certain kind of horse to be able to overcome all that. And she certainly showed her mental fortitude yesterday. A great mile from that filly. Before you ask me what's next, somewhere between turning her out and racing her in her next couple of stakes, we'll figure that out. But I want to see her come out of the race sharp, start to put her weight back on and feel good. That's what I want to see from her before we start talking about next race. I know a couple of my partners said, what's next? Quite frankly, it could be the field. It might be, and it may not be, but that will be up to insider trading. So let's run through the entire day. B. Lisa, 8-hole. Changed all her shoes, took the hobbles off, took her off Lasix. Some considerable changes made on B. Lisa, and I was quite frank with Mark. Mark. Quite frank with Mark, and I said, listen, just try and get me a bone and tell me what you think. We made some wholesale changes to this filly today. He said, Anthony, and this was his words, she was sneaky good. He said, I got away last, I don't know her, she's running in a bit. I put her in gear around the last turn, and I didn't want to tip her over, so I just left her alone. She finished up in behind them, but felt like she had lots to offer. I know it wasn't a fast mile, but I actually liked what I felt from her, and I think she'd do very good in her next race. Put her in a position, she felt comfortable. Where in the previous start, she was really fizzling out, and the odd time you'll get a horse that just doesn't react well to Lasix, and I believed that the biggest problem with B. Lisa was that she was on Lasix, and it was causing this, what I would consider a rare situation where it wasn't agreeing with her. So, yesterday was a win for us, even though it wasn't a great finish. 1, she went without hobbles. 2, she went with 4 aluminums. Yeah, we're going to be in Ohio for a little while yet, baby girl. Just watch your show. So B. Lisa, although it wasn't a great finish, was some great gains yesterday from her. So we'll see how she performs in her next outing. Then we had pulled the shoes. Mark thought that maybe just when he went to shove her over with the gate and pull, she just got out of gear, and then he said, I grabbed her, she threw her head. He didn't know her, right? And this was my problem with racing pull the shoes in this race, was that she is, of all of our horses, maybe one of the most finicky horses we have. And I think 2 takeaways. 1, she still grabbed that bone, that last fifth, after making a break. And 2, I think she was going to be a player in there had she not made a break. She looked good, which is great. Not the way you want to put her away, an equipment break and then a break. But, that's just the way it played out. And although she was 5th, there were some good takeaways from yesterday, and certainly some great takeaways from this year. I think she'll grow up mentally, physically, and end up being a good filly for us as a 3-year-old. J.K. Mickey Mantle, my only concern was he didn't get off the gate really well, and he tried to. He said, I brought him into position, then he got a little crooked, and then when I started him up, he didn't have a lot of pop. I would say his feet are bothering him a little bit. We might need a little maintenance with his feet. He thought the shoes were fine, which was my next question. Maybe he needs a little borium added to the toe of those shoes, because this is a horse usually you'd have right on the wing and he'll scream off the car. But yesterday he did not get out as well as I thought he would. His mile stalled in places throughout the mile, which says to me that yesterday wasn't a great day for him. Maybe his feet, again, were bothering him. Maybe he needs a little maintenance. But he wasn't as good as I thought he should be, even though he did pace 53 and a bit, 54. It wasn't a horrible mile on paper, but it didn't match up with what I saw optically. I'm not going to say he regressed from his first 2 starts, but I do believe that there was a stall. There wasn't progression this week. Maybe just one little bit, Addie Bear. Just a little bit. And then I got to watch Insider Trading. I was so happy that it worked out well, and then even almost elated when I had heard from Tim that there was no blood found, her throat was good, she was comfortable after the race, she was eating her lunch. I was just really, really happy with the entire situation from yesterday, which I thought could have went so wrong in so many ways. Not horribly wrong, but she could have bled again. She might have been a little flat from the Lasix. Maybe Mark didn't get along with her and she made a break. Maybe she just didn't look good. None of that happened yesterday. Everything was check marks across the board. So really happy, really lucky that everything went really well for us in regards to insider trading yesterday. Major Megan, I don't like that she's giving up the last 100 yards, but she can only go so fast. Like Mark said, she was empty going under the wire. I said, well, Mark, we didn't pay much for her. She's done pretty good for us. And if we have to call it a day, we call it a day. He goes, He said, I know, I saw her last race. He left hard from the 9-hole. She was a little tired. She's going to get a week off next week that the Meadows isn't racing. He said, I bet you she races better her next start, which is a fair, I guess, synopsis of the entire situation. She did pace 54 in a bit again. The only real letdown of the day was Cupid Express and Horn Player. Horn Player made that break, and I had a number of people messaging, why didn't you use Pallone? We're not going to play the hindsight stuff. So if somebody has something to say about Brady Brown driving the horse, you bring it up before the race, not after the race. You don't get that opportunity, right? We're not gonna rip apart things from the hindsight situation. I chose Brady Brown because he's got a good set of hands. He's a smart driver. He's done very, very well for us. A number of people, and Dave Pallone was one of them, that did very well for us over there. I just thought that Brady was a good fit for the mare, and made a break coming out of there. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have raced her. I'm not going to discuss any hindsight stuff, right? I thought she was in the right place. I didn't like the fact that her and Cupid get in together, but that's racing. It's not the end of the world. We have a couple of really good options with Cupid Express now. One for sure, heading forward. The week off will definitely help her. They did scope her after. There was a little bit of mucus, a few little trickles of blood, but not even enough to really say she should be on Lasix. Just enough to say, maybe she needs next week off, which she's going to get. Again, and like I said with Horn Player, she made a break. She's been good. She made the break in Ontario. I thought it was the surface 100%. She can right back out her next start off like 10 days or almost 2 weeks with a great performance and winning in 56. Without knowing her quirks, I think that maybe Brady just lost her. And it's going to happen. And it's not, I wouldn't consider it even a setback. She's a trotter that made a break on a new driver. That happens. And quite frankly, after watching the race and watching where she made the break and how she made the break, I don't know if there was anybody there that would have kept her trotting coming off the car. But again, now I'm using hindsight. Kings County, Stacy thought that maybe he grabbed a bell boot and made a break. I mean, this frustrating part with this guy, he seems to settle in somewhere. I've never seen him like that, but I only got to drive him in certain situations. And he seems to settle in, and then yesterday was a completely useless break, and I don't really know why he had made the break, but he did. Stacy thought that, and Brett thought that maybe he caught a bell boot and made the break, and if that's the case, then that's the case. Not a great day in Scioto, but that's the way it happens sometimes. I'm sure both these horses, we'll talk about the next one in just a second. Well, you have an apple here, and you have the rest of your scone there, remember?
Not my apple.
Yes, you can. It was my apple, but I guess now it's your apple. Oh, you're welcome, honey. So a break from Kings County. We've seen it in that place before, and I guess we really just have to bite our lip and watch for next week. I had somebody message me and say that both Cupid Express and JK Victory got driven poorly, and I couldn't disagree more. And I think that was the tagline, was I couldn't disagree more. Cupid Express got a perfect trip, in case you're wondering. Cleared to the front, 27-2, but you don't get to say, hey, excuse me, sir, on the inside. Excuse me, Jeremy, could you just go a little slower so I can clear off the lead easy? It doesn't work that way. This is horse racing. Of course he's going to stretch him out. And he ended up beating him, if I'm not mistaken, so it was the right move. And Cupid Express was a little flat, but this idea that somehow he left too hard with her, it just doesn't work that way. And I know you guys are sitting at home saying, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. You're wrong. He did 100% the right thing. Jeremy Indoff stretched him out, which is Jeremy Indoff's job, by the way. Stretched him out, softened him up, and beat him on the end of it. That's how racing goes. Mark did 100% the right thing with the favorite. And truthfully speaking, it appears Jeremy Indoff did the right thing also. So this idea that somehow Mark drove incorrectly is incorrect. He drove 100% the right way. Paint by numbers. That's how you drive the favorite in that race, especially coming off the races that she's been coming off. She looked good, a little bit flat. It happens. As I said, we had the break from Kings County, and somebody said, "Oh, Ronnie Wren, what was he doing?" I don't know. He was trying to get to the front with the horse that's been on the front the last forever, up front near the lead. And the guy stretched him out 53 seconds. Where he was going, I have no idea. Why you would want to park the 5-1 horse or 4-1 horse or whatever he was with the 7-2 horse, knowing that the dead nuts favorite, 1-2, 1-5, whatever he was right there behind you. Not 3 lengths behind you, is beyond me. You want to let Ronnie Wren go. Because Ronnie's going to go 27, 54. You want to sit behind him. Then you're going to force the hand upon the Warrior. And he's probably still going to win. But you're going to try and beat Ronnie and be second or third. Instead, you park him 53 seconds. And then Ronnie still beat him, by the way, for everybody out there saying, I can't believe Ronnie. That's how tough JK Victory has been and how tough he is right now. He's parked the whole way and still came back on him in fourth and beat the horse that parked him. So I don't think Ronnie made a mistake. Ronnie was probably surprised that, I think it was Mike Oosting, maybe, I'm not sure. He was probably just a little surprised that he sat up and took him. When you're in that position, what are you going to do? You can't rewind the race. You can't run it back. He drove the horse exactly how everybody on planet Earth knew he would. Leave out, try to grab the lead. I was going to say grab the lead. Try to grab the lead and do exactly what I said. 27 apiece, 26 and 4, 27, half and 54 and apiece. If you beat me, you beat me. If you don't, you don't. That's how the race was going to go. And if somebody else handicapped it a different way, that's wonderful. I didn't see it that way. I wasn't surprised with anything that took place before the first turn. After the first turn, the rodeo that took place after that was a little surprising. But again, that's racing. Maybe you couldn't hold the horse. Maybe, I have no idea. But you get roughed up. It's horse racing. It'll happen. It's like complaining because you get tackled playing football. It's going to happen sometimes. You leave with the horse enough, sometimes he's going to get hooked. You're going to get parked. So the horse raced good. Raced huge, actually, to finish fourth. A good mile from him. Yo, mister. He didn't look good.
Was this a big bite?
Yes. Stacy said that he had pus pocket or something coming in his foot the other day. She was actually happy he didn't get in, which is fine. He wasn't really paying that much attention. But last night he looked a little sore right hind, so she was going to have him looked at, make sure he was okay, but he didn't look completely okay to me, and I don't think there's something wrong. I just think he was off last night. He wasn't great last night, and it showed. He ended up finishing sixth, kind of a ho-hum flat mile from Yo Mister. Per Lucky raced his eyeballs out again, finished third. My God, he's turned into such a nice horse for us. He's on his way to Illinois to join Jim Eaton's burn as we speak, and that should be a good fit. A good fit for that particular horse. He already raced well with Jim Eaton last year, and nice, good old horseman. Fit in with a classy old horse. It's a match made in heaven, as they say. So hopefully we'll get some racing done in Illinois, and if he has to go to Indiana a little bit, then so be it. He liked it there. He took his mark there last year. Now, the last race of the night, I really wish Ronnie had went out there with that horse, and I know Ronnie ran really well. I'll probably see him today at some point. I'm not going to bring it up because I'm sure maybe there was a reason he just wanted to take the horse back to last. But as I said to one of my partners last night, geez, we could have just trained him Saturday morning and not paid the $2,500. And I mean, if we had sent James or Scotty there to drive the horse, that's the exact race you would have got, right? Take him back, hope that people make mistakes, horses make breaks, beat them up the inside, try and get paid. I get it. It's a conservative way, and it probably, in the long run, maybe would have been better for the colt. I would have stomp on it coming out of the gate, get away second or third, see if we can grab a bone. It just didn't work out that way, and again, looking at it in hindsight, man, just leave it to horse. But looking at it in real time and looking at the program and then going out and driving the horse, I think more times than not, that's exactly how he would have been driven by most anybody. So I can't complain really about Mel Gibbs one. You really have to not look at it in hindsight, right? Because we really don't get a chance to do that. You can armchair quarterback and say, you should have done this, you should have done that. But you get to see the race unfold first, right? Whether that's parked with one or leaving with another or getting locked in or whatever, you're looking at it in an unfair way. So looking at the program and getting on the bike and going out and driving the horse, I think that was probably how it was going to play out with most people. So can't really blame Ronnie for that. Not the finish I wanted to see from Mel Gibbs one, but when you draw 9 racing against horses that are thought to be at least better than your horse, I guess finishing near the back is not that shocking. So he'll be back to the... Yep. We'll be back in the Indiana Sires we'll be back in the Indiana Sires next week, I believe next week, and then that will all, hopefully he makes the final, I believe, and then that will round out the rest of his year. So that is my take, my armchair quarterbacking for Friday night's races on Saturday. I'm on my way over now. Super excited about today. For those of you who don't know, obviously Memory and Imagination is scratched today. He is going to race in Kentucky tomorrow for $400,000, and I will be going down there after the races tonight to drive him. We have Stay Close in race number 1. Really excited to drive him. Short field, not really his cup of tea, but if I can put them into a position where they get into the corner and get in a bit of a dogfight, then I think I can have a favorable run at them. But if it turns into a parade where it's line up 1 through 6 and I have to get in the 2 or 3 hole and just take my medicine, then that's how it's going to be also. So we'll see what we can do with Stay Close in race 1. Memory and Imagination scratch. Lonely Lakewood was awesome his last start. Excited to race this guy also. Patrick DePrana, again, short field. Not really his cup of tea, but he's been really, really good. So we'll see. I honestly don't know. Am I going to leave with him or race him from off the pace? I want to say race him from off the pace, but you race him from off the pace in a 6-horse field, your fate is already sealed for the most part. Now, if everybody's up on the gate and looking for a party, then maybe we'll just drop him in 5th or 6th and race him after that. I won't really know what I'm going to do with him until we're just about to say go. When I get a real sense of what's going on around me, then I'll make my decision with Patrick DePrana today. But nevertheless, I'm sure he'll race good no matter how I drive him. Nothing But a Dreamer and Spitfire Overseas will be fun. Now, very important, pay attention. Spitfire Overseas, I think, is coming in real sharp. He trained great this week. He has the Keystone Classic next week. Nothing But a Dreamer is heading back to the Harry Polton stable in Ontario. He's got a pop-up series coming up. He's got a pop-up series coming up. He's got the Harvest series coming up. He is scheduled to be in really, don't do that. He is scheduled to be in Ontario over the next month. So he did his job. We got him over here. We sparked him up. He's sharp. I don't think he can beat Spitfire Overseas today, but he should have a good crack at them. He'll get a good crack at him today too, and he's been racing good, so I'm happy with him. We got Warwi Yuri racing this evening in the Prospect Series again. Now, we've sold one of his main competitors in My 1%. He's left Ontario, so Warwi Yuri's got a good crack at them in the fall. Gandalf the Black racing, trying to get a nice and easy race into Gandalf tonight in Sarnia. We've Tactical Mounds and No Free Lunch rounding out the evening. Tactical Mounds coming in as probably one of the best horses we've had, definitely in recent memory, but maybe ever. She's a very, very good horse, and racing in that, we supplemented her. We paid $30,000 to race her in the Elegant Image. Now, hopefully she goes out and races well tonight, makes the final, and then we get a crack at some good horses also in the final. And then No Free Lunch is coming in sharp as attack, also racing great right now. You know, I had a great dialogue with one of my partners on No Free Lunch last week, and they said, I really wish James had just blasted him off the car. Well, hold on a second. He's going to do his best racing in the fall. He's coming off an injury in the early part of the winter. He's never really done his best work leaving with them. That big win from Scotty, he was 10th ahead of the lane last year. A number of the wins with James, he was sitting at the back and circled the field. He's not the type of horse to make front, command the lead, and win. Once in a while you can do that, but not a lot of the time. And I know it makes sense. I'll just leave and sit in the 2-hole. But horses have their ways that they like to race too, and No Free Lunch has never been a horse that likes to always be up close. Sit, you know, you'll be able to race him on the front once in a while. You'll be able to race him, leave, and sit, and let somebody remove and sit in the 2-hole once in a while. But for the most part, he's a stalker. He's the guy that's sitting 3 and back. sometimes all the way back to 10th, and he gets a big kick on the end of it and a run on them, and he beats them. But that is no free lunch, and you have to understand they aren't race cars. We can't just race them however we want. Sometimes you have to race them how they want. And no free lunch is not a big fan of being roughed up at the start. Never was. So I suspect you'll see a little bit of the same, sitting probably 6th or 7th, second or third over, and trying to run pace by them down the lane with a good run at the end of it. That will likely be what you see from him tonight also. So a great night coming up, hopefully a great day. I'm really excited about Stay Close, Lonely Lakewood, Patrick DePrana. Every horse I'm driving for us today, I am really, really excited to drive. But all the sparks of the week for me come tomorrow with Memory and Imagination. He is coming in training fantastic, scoping good, looking good. He should be sharp as a tack for tomorrow. We have, yeah, almost in Pennsylvania, babe. We have Smoking Hot Irish Girl and What a Mission racing in Delaware at the Delaware County Fairgrounds at the same time. And then we have Cash Deals making her way back to the race. This is likely her last start for us. We'll sell her before the Prospect Final. Alibaba races tomorrow also. So it should be a good Sunday, and then it's not over yet for me. I got to stay overnight because Pickpocket races in the final on Monday. It goes for $100,000 on Monday in the afternoon. And Sintra races Monday night at Moloch. White Tiger Tuesday, Race for Landing Wednesday. The calendar's filling in now. Big day yesterday in regards to the sale. I did a sale video. Really, really excited with what I saw from yesterday's sale. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I did wake up today. I will warn everybody. I saw that you all bought Halakai. I appreciate it. Very, very nice filly from what I can tell. You're missing the boat kind of on Unique Style. This one is a 2-type that has avenues everywhere. All fall. Coming off 3.5 weeks off yesterday or the day before. James drove him. Said the front end he's a little finicky about. He said, I thought he would have raced a little tougher, but he is off 3.5 weeks. He did go to the sale, so he, probably had an easy week and a half or so at Rays, then went in the sale, went to a new barn. We trained him 2 days out, and then he raced on the day. He goes, yeah, he said, he'll be fine. He said, he got a nice gait, nice colt. I like him. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with him. So if you're looking for a racehorse, because every day I get an email from somebody saying, any racehorse kicking around, what do you think? Yeah, I'll have it, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you for mutilating my apple. I'll finish it now. But Unique Style is probably a horse that everybody should be looking at. If you don't, that's fine. I think he's a nice horse. Really happy with him and all of our purchases we made over the last month. Most definitely the ones we made yesterday. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday morning. Have a great Saturday afternoon and night. I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.